Imagine, amidst all the crowd, thousands of people, you were called to the front, and the award for answering this question, the $50,000 question, is you get the money and a delicious cupcake. Imagine that. Here's the question, though. Would you be able to answer? Do you know the origins of basketball? Think of basketball. I mean, basketball, here it is, a sport, man. And you got March Madness and playoffs. And I grew up in Cleveland, LeBron James, and then, hey, Kobe Bryant and all this stuff and the competition. And I've been in the Philippines and other nations. And basketball, it's a worldwide sport and phenomenon. But where did basketball originate? Do you know the roots of it? Well, let me tell you very quickly what it is. Do you know that in 1891, there was a man named James Nesmith? And you can go by Springfield, Massachusetts. I've driven right by there, and you can see, hey, here's the museum, the Hall of Fame there for basketball. But do you know that James Nesmith was a man that was a theologian? It meant that he was a serious student of God and wanting to learn the ways of God. But he felt a discontent. How am I going to influence people? And what's the best way to be a witness for Christ? Is it going to be by me preaching or maybe influencing people on maybe in an arena or somehow through sports? So what he did is he got a job as a PE teacher at the headquarters for the YMCA. That's what this shirt represents, YMCA. And he was there in their International Training Center, and he was looking at baseball, and he thought, here's baseball, but what do you do when it's cold? How are you going to play it? Can we find a sport for indoor? He looked at soccer, and he looked at lacrosse. And he finally came up with the idea of maybe putting these two, goals at the end of the floor, and they would bounce a ball back and forth. But he said, my purpose was this. I want to win men for Christ through the gym. Win men for Christ, for the master, through the gym. In other words, he invented basketball, James Nesmith, and you know why? Because he wanted there to be a sport where there would be good sportsmanship and gentlemanly conduct, good morals. He even said if somebody, is violating these, they'll be let go for the year. Imagine that. But that was the purpose in basketball. Now, it's fun to discover these kind of things. When you look at history and you say, when we say to somebody, hey, here's a buck. You know where that came from? In colonial times, when you had a buck like a deerskin, you'd say, all right, I'll buy that. And you would have $1, a greenback like this. It was a buck. How about this? Do you know where the word golf comes from? G-O-L-F. In Scotland, women wanted to play, but they were not allowed because over the clubhouse it said G-O-L-F. Gentlemen only, ladies forbidden. There's other terms like that. You hear a movie, somebody says, oh boy, they dropped the F-bomb. You know where that came from? Colonial times, put somebody in stocks, and over it said fornicating under carnal knowledge. Well, it's fun to discover origins. Basketball is the same. James Nesmith invented this sport as a witness for Christ. Now today there's a lot of people that say, hey, let's get rid of this stuff. We don't want to hear these testimonies after a game or Tim Tebow putting stuff under the eyes, with a Bible verse. In fact, recently they outlawed it. But what would you rather have? Athletes that are promoting violence with their life, infidelity, and all kinds of nonsense and be bad influence? Or would you rather have athletes that are really doing what Nesmith said when he invented basketball? Remember what his motto was. Win men for Christ through the gym. I think we need to recover what his original vision was.